Hello everyone, in this video I am going to discuss Chaucer as a writer and other contemporary writer of his age. So first is Geoffrey Chaucer. He was born in 1343 and died in 1400. He was born in London. He belongs to a small town. His father John Chaucer, mother Agnes Chaucer were very common people. Chaucer, in the age of 17, became the attendant of the Duke Edward III. He joined Edward III and then participated in the War of 100 Years, where he was abated, and King Edward paid 16 pounds ransom to get Chaucer back. Geoffrey Chaucer was ransomed for 16 pounds. Chaucer is a writer, lived in the age of three different kings. He lived in the age of Edward III. He approved Rime Royal, whose reigning time was 1327 to 1377. Then Richard II, 1377 to 1399. Then Henry IV, whose time was on the throne was 1399 to 1413. Henry IV was chosen by Parliament. Chaucer married a lady, Philippa Poet, and this is how he made royal contacts. Philippa Royet was a sister of third wife of John of Gaunt. Having the royal contact, Chaucer appointed as a national poet, and he started writing. Chaucer's first career was in French. He wrote lots of books in French. All the books by Chaucer, which were published before 1372, were in French. Here, the first book we have is the Book of Duchess, which was written in 1369. It is written in octosyllabic couplet and deals with the death of Duchess Blanche. Duchess Blanche belonged to Lancashire. It's a kind of elegy and dream allegory. The another book by Chaucer in French career is Roman de la Rose, in English Romance of the Rose. It is the translation of a writer's work which were in Old French. The writer were Jean de Meung and William Delars. Next work, which is in French, is ABC, a long prayer. Is just a long prayer, but it is divided into three sections. This is why it is called ABC. It is for Virgin Mary. Chaucer's career after 1372. As Chaucer became a national poet, he went off lots of diplomatic tour in Italy, and in Italy he came in contact with lots of writers like Petrarch, Dante and Boccaccio. When he came in contact with these writers, he got heavily influenced by Dante and Petrarch, and he started imitating them in his work. This is the Chaucer's career in Italian language. The very first book is The Parliament of the Foul. It was written to celebrate the marriage of Richard II with Anne of Bohemia. It is an allegory. Here, the parliament is of birds. It is an assembly where Saint Valentine is sitting with a white eagle on his wrist, and all the birds they came to marry this eagle to for her patron. They claim their superiority, their power to impress the female eagle which is on the wrist of Saint Valentine, but they cannot able to win the heart. So the whole book gives a message that love doesn't need any power, superiority and any claim. Love needs only love. Saint Valentine is the head of the assembly. It was written in the marriage of Richard II and Anne. They both were the age of 14 and the month of their marriage was February. The second book is House of Fame. House of Fame is a copy of Dante's Divine Comedy. It is also called the masterpiece of comic fantasy. It is a dream allegory, and Chaucer saw a dream that in his dream he has been picked up by an eagle who drops him at a glass place which is called House of Fame. Here Chaucer finds three types of people. First type of people, those who did not want to work but wanted to be famous. second type of people those who wanted to work to be famous, and the third type of those who simply believed in work but did not concern about the fame or being famous. So the fame is given to the third type of. After this, Chaucer wrote Troilus and Criseyde. It is based on Trojan War. It is a story where Troilus, a warrior, falls in love with the lady, widow, Lady Criseyde, but eventually he has been deceived by the lady and he dies in war. It is a long poem where, using rhyme royal, Chaucer gives a message that women can't be trusted. Chaucer has used rhyme royal stanza in Troilus and Criseyde, which was invented by him. Rhyme royal is a 7-line stanza with the rhyme scheme A B A B B C C. Rhyme royal was invented by Chaucer, approved by Edward III, and used by King James I of Scotland in King's Square in 1424. In this book, Chaucer criticized women. Chaucer saw a dream that goddess Alexd is unhappy with his deed and she is going to punish him, as the Chaucer has defamed women in his book. Chaucer pleaded guilty and goddess Alexd gave him a chance. She asked him to write a book where he can praise the woman. So Chaucer woke up and wrote another book which is called The Legend of Good Woman. Here he praised all the female characters. There are total 10 characters. Chaucer's this style is written in decasyllabic couplet and it's a work which is called Palinode. It is a literary device. Troilus and Criseyde is an adaptation of Boccaccio's second Filostretto. It is the retelling of the Boccaccio story. Next is Chaucer's career in English. Chaucer's famous work in English is Prologue to the Canterbury Tales. Prologue to the Canterbury Tales is written in English. It is the first ever book written in English. It is written in 1388. It is believed that Chaucer wanted to write 124 tales, but we have only 24 tales. It is debatable thing that how many pilgrims were there. At that time in England, it was a tradition to go to the pilgrim of various provinces. Here the pilgrims are going to the shrine of Thomas Becket. These are 29 pilgrims living in Tabard Inn. 29 pilgrims, they are hosted by Harry Bailey. He is a very jolly person and the narrator is here, which is Geoffrey Chaucer. So in total we have 31 people, 29 pilgrims, one narrator and one host. When they start their journey, the very opening line of Prologue to the Canterbury Tale is April is the month of shower. When they started their journey, Harry Bailey suggested the idea that it was a long and tedious journey, and to make it comfortable, every pilgrim is supposed to tell 4 stories. Means each of them will tell 4 stories, 2 while going to the journey and 2 while returning. The best storyteller would be given a super by all. The first storyteller is the knight. The knight tells us the story of Palamon and Acreid, two fast friends who fight for a girl, Emily. It's a tragedy. Knight's story is selected as the best story. Knight's story is based on Desidera and Boccaccio's writer. The last storyteller is Parson, and his story deals with 7 deadly sins. Out of 24 tales, 22 tales are in verse and 2 are in prose, one by Chaucer and one by Parson. Now there are 23 persons who have told stories. Means Chaucer told 2 tales. His 2 tales are Tale of Sir Thops and the Tale of Sir Meligus. Harry Bailey didn't like the Tale of Sir Thops and criticized it, but Chaucer's another tale of Sir Meliboeus was praised by Harry. Harry Bailey asked Chaucer, "What men are those thou?" And Chaucer said, "I am of short wit. I will tell a little thing in prose. None priest tale is a beast fable, where he deals with the Canticleer, the rooster, and the fox, and the tale of wife of Bath, which is the tale of the Luthi lady. He says, wife of Bath, she belongs to Bath. Her name is Alison. She is famously called Madam Gossip by her friends. Wife of Bath had 5 husbands, and she became deaf because her fifth husband gave her a blow. Her fifth husband, Daphne, was overpowered by her, and moreover, she counted her all marriages as experience. So, this is how Wife of Bath becomes the first feminist character who says that all these marriages are were experience, and the Wife of Bath questions the need of chastity through her tale, which is answered by the student of Oxford. Wife of Bath's story is she talks about a member of round table of King Arthur. She tells the story that King Arthur's courtier, a famous courtier, raped a woman and King Arthur punished him. He said that come with the answer that which is the thing which is desired by the most of the women, and if you don't come within the answer after 1 year you will be killed. So this courtier go in the search of this answer. He comes across various women asking the only desire they have, but he doesn't get the final answer. When 1 year is totally over, he comes back for his punishment. As he is going to be killed, he meets an old and ugly lady, and then old and ugly lady says, "I can help you. I can answer you that what is the thing which is most desired by a woman, but you will have to marry me." So the courtier thinks that it is better to marry her than to die. He marries the lady, and on the wedding night, the lady tells him that it is the complete sovereignty, complete control on lover or husband. Then the ugly lady asks to the courtier, "Do you want me to be most beautiful but unfaithful, or you want me to be ugly but loyal?" He says, "I want you ugly but loyal." And this is how the story ends. Complete sovereignty sought by women is again a feminist thing. The question arises is that how character has gave the personal details of all these characters. Chaucer says Knight was a good man because he was participated in lots of holy war, while son of knight squire was involved in lots of other things. Chaucer says a line for squire. He was as fresh as the month of May. There are 4 characters who have been praised by Chaucer because the various characters Chaucer has criticized. 4 characters who have been praised by Chaucer are Plugman. He is very honest. He pays his taxes regularly. Another person who is praised by the Chaucer is Poor Parson. Parson is the only religious character praised by Chaucer. Parson is very honest, though he is very small clergy. Parson says, "If gold rust, what shall iron do?" The message is, if the upper class clergies are corrupt, what shall the lower class do? That means the lower class clergies, they are not spotted to do good if the upper class is bad. Then the student of Oxford, he has been praised because he was devoted to studies. Knight has been praised because he participated in holy wars. A nun Priors, she belongs to aristocracy, though she is the nun devoted to God. She has been supposed that she is devoted to court. She should be devoid of all the materialistic pleasure, but our nun in contemporary tale is fond of latest fashion. Speaking French, she has a nasal voice and she is wearing an amulet where it is written amor victimonia, which means love conquers all. This shows the aristocratic standard. The fakeness of this nun has been criticized. Monk is a religious person, but this monk is fond of hunting. Pardner and Sumner both have been criticized as drunkard, eating garlics, and being lot of greedy. Chaucer's partner gets drunk and tells everyone before he tells a story. He says that I did not complete my degree of being a partner. Still, I scare people on the name of court and I make my living by taking lots of money from them. He also tells that if people are not able to pay the money, I force them to offer their wives or daughters to me. This is how Chaucer has painted out the vices of church. The next is Doctor of Psych. During the time of Black Death, all these doctors they made lot of money. So here Doctor of Psych, Chaucer says he is too much greedy and he forced patients to give the money. If they aren't able to do so, he asked them to give gold. Chaucer did not like alliteration and assonance. He called it rim ram rough, which means all is waste or all in vain. Next writer of his contemporary writer is of his age is John Grover. He died in 1408. He is the next contemporary of Chaucer. He has been called Moral Gover. Chaucer called him Moral Gover. Just like Chaucer, his career is also divided into three parts. In his French career, he has famously written a book called Mirror d'Aimé. It means Mirror of the Meditative Man. This book deals foils and corruption of the church prevailing in the society. Then next is Italian phase. He has written a famous book, Vox Clamatiis. English title of Vox Clamatiis is Voice of the One Crying Out. It is a Latin poem, around 12 to 13,000 lines. It is an elegiac verse. Here he is mourning the loss of peasant. It deals with the peasant revolt of 1381, which was led by Vaudreuil. Vaudreuil was the leader of peasant revolt. It is also called Vaudreuil's rebellion or Great Rising. After Black Death, a tension was created, which was political tension, and along with the thing that 100 Years' War was also going on, the peasants realized that the church authority are causing lot of taxes, which is not needed. It was the reason all the peasants revolted. Here, Grover is criticizing peasants, saying that the cause of peasant was not good because England was involved in a war with France. It is not the right time to cause a rebellion. Moreover, Gower, being a religious person, trusted church blindly, and he said that peasants are in wrong side. They should have faith in church. This is the story of Vox Clamatiis. The third book in English phase is Confessio Amantis. It is also called The Lover's Confession. It is having 30 to 40,000 lines written in Middle English dialect. It is a frame story, means story within stories. It has lots of short and narrative poem. Influence of Chaucer and Langland can be seen. The next writer is John Wycliffe. He was the professor in the University of Oxford. He is the first man who started questioning religion and formed a group of Lollard. This group started talking against church, started causing awareness against the church or the supremacy of the pope. They talked about iconism, means that we should not believe in images. God is everywhere. This group starting talking or criticizing the corruption or drawbacks of the religion. Wycliffe is also known as important precursor to Protestantism. Wycliffe spotted predestination means a faith that everything is the hand of God. He has planned everything and we are doing what God wants to us just to do. He spotted icons. He spotted Caesaropapism means king plus religion is the secular government work with the church. Wycliffe criticized on some points. First is he the criticized on monasticism, means living like monks. He doesn't support this thought. Next is papacy. Pope the Father. He is the supreme authority bishop. John Wycliffe was born in 1324 and died in 1384. Wycliffe is called Morning Star of Reformation. He is the first man to translate Bible into English, but he did not translate the very original text of Bible, which was written in Hebrew. In fact, Wycliffe translated the already translated version, which was in Latin. John Wycliffe translated St. Thorman's Latin Bible, or also called St. Paglate's Latin Bible, in 1384. Wycliffe was the leader of a group called Lollard. Lollard was a group that took the charge of reforming the church corruption. After the death of Mon Wycliffe, John Purvey became the leader of a group Lollard. The next contemporary writer of Chaucer's age is William Langland. He was born in 1332 and died in 1400. He is simply famous for his work Piers the Plowman. It is written in Middle English allegorical narrative poem. Here he talks about the good life. For example, do well, do better, do best. Here is a philosophy that do good, better and best. The complete title of book is very important. Now version of William concerning Piers the Plowman. Richard the Redless. It is an unfinished work which was written in 1399. It was written in the protest of Richard II. But this work is unfinished because Richard II got killed, and being the critic of the king, Langland also disappears. Next is Vision of William concerning Piers the Plowman. It has 15,000 lines. It has nature, philosophy, hopes, different Christianity, written in alliterative verse or the prose poetic style. This work is divided into three different texts, A, B and C. Text B is widely read, translated and a famous book. Opening lines are, the voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, prepare you the way of the Lord. W.H. Hudson called him the poet of people. Piers the Plowman, it is the story of a person who one morning finds himself in the month of May in Manville Hills. He saw the dream. In his dream, he was in a fairy field full of fog. This work is famous for the philosophy do well, do better, and do best. William Langland, he himself was the character. He refers himself as well. And he talks about various references including Islam, Christianity. The book is divided in different visions and every vision has few passes. It had 8 visions and 20 passes or cantos. Who will bell the cat? is the story is mentioned in the prologue of the story poem. Next is Robin Hood tale tradition. What are the names of four daughters of God? It is in vision 6 passes 18 where we'll meet with the four daughters of God: truth, justice, mercy, and peace. Vision 5 passes 16. The fall of man is recreated. Next is Vision 8 passes 20. He sees the dream where the Antichrist have lost faith in Christ, and because of this thing the old age disease attack will and he becomes weak and wakes up. The next writer of Chaucer's contemporary is John Lydgate. He is also known as the Virgil of England. His famous work is The Fall of Princes, is a regular tragedy collection. The story is told in the old-fashioned point of view and all the tragic falls from high to low. This work has a sequel known as Mirror from My Street. Who bought in England? The narrative of medieval European court culture is John Lydgate. It is a very important question. Who bought in England? The narrative of medieval European court culture. The answer is John Lydgate. His another work is Troy. Troy book is not only a translation of Guido de Colmenares, it deals with the Troy story. Another work by Lydgate is Dance Macabre. It is a kind of style where in plays a death scene appears again and again. In this work, death is addressing everyone, the pope, the king, the friar, and death tells them their last destination. The Book of Thebes or Siege of Thebes. It is also known as the Advancement of Canterbury Tales or the extended version of Canterbury Tales. It is written in frame narrative style. Lydgate, he himself establishes in the story as a narrator. He says, I am the narrator. It is believed that Chaucer's Canterbury Tale has reference of Siege of Thebes. Monk's Tale have the base of it. And next plays London lacked Piomi, Temple of Glass like House of Fame, Fall of Princes. It is based on Boccago's compilation of tragedy. The next writer of Chaucer's age is John Hoccleve. It is John Hoccleve who called himself the stupid scholar of an excellent master. His excellent master was Chaucer. His famous work is The Regiment of Princes. It is based on Chaucer's House of Fame. The next book by John Hoccleve is Ballad. John Lydgate was born in 1370 to 40 and died in 1449. Lydgate, it is the name of area or a place. John Lydgate has written various books, some which are important, like The Fall of Princes. It is a regular tragedy collection. It has more than 100 stories. John Lydgate, The Fall of Princes, is not only the first collection of tragedies, it is also a first regular tragedy collection. It is influenced Shakespeare to write Richard III. He has famously written a book called Troy that gives the history of Trojan War in 13th century Latin language. There is a book he has written called Say. There are certain writers who are contemporary of Chaucer, but they belong to Scotland. They are famously called Scottish Chaucerian. Some famous Scottish writers and their work are King James I, King's Esquire. It is written in rhyme royal, published in 1424. Next is Robert Harrison, the Testament of Christ, which is based on Chaucer's Troilus and Criseyde. Next is Gravin William Douglas, the Place of Honor. Next is William Dunbar. He is the first poet of Scotland. His only work is the Dance of Seven Deadly Sins, which was written in 1507. Another work is The Two Married Women and a Widow. It is a bad and filthy satire. The next writer is John Barbour. His famous work is Bruce, the supreme national poem of Scotland. It is a very verse chronicle. The poem narrates the struggle of Robert the Bruce and his people to throw off the fog yoke and regain liberty. Fault of the poem is the prosaic nature of its 13,000 octosyllabic lines. Famous line in his poem is, "Ah, fruit, son, is a noble thing." Next writer is John Mandeville. He has written The Voyage on Sir John Mandeville. Next is Sir David Landsey. His famous work is Dream, written in rhyme royal, and another work is The Testament of Squire Meldrum. It is a romantic biography of Squire Meldrew, and another work is pleasant satire on three states. It is a morality play. So that's all for today's session. In the next video, I am going to explain the age of darkness. So thank you so much for listening so carefully.